Hi, my name is Matthew Griffin. Uh, I just want to do a quick vlog for the day. Um, just progressive, diving into conservative media. I did one of these earlier this week, and I plan to do one next week, but we had such a crazy day in the news. I just had to do another one. For those of you who don't know, on Wednesday we had a huge scene at Queens Park. Protesters, people were arrested. Um, Andrea Horvath is actually thrown out of Queens Park. But I mean, according to conservative media, everything's right in the world. So let's take a look. We got the Toronto Sun here. Premier slams dysfunctional TO council, defends using non-misstanding clause, saying, "I was elected to deliver change." Mister Fix It. Uh, and again, it's bizarre that there's not more coverage on huge protests, people arrested, leader thrown out of legislature. But new hope in teens disappearance vanished 55 years ago. Let's see if there's any updates in this 55-year-old cold case. It was September 14th, 1963. John F. Kennedy was president of the United States. Beatlemania was just beginning. And after a Saturday night bowling with her friends in Bowmanville, Noreen Ann Greenlee headed for the 11:30 p.m. bus that would take her home. She would never make it. Her panic-stricken parents would later learn that the 13-year-old never boarded the bus. She had simply disappeared. She had simply vanished from their lives. Now, 55 years later, her family is praying that her mysterious disappearance will soon be solved. It's odd that this 55-year-old cold case that hasn't been solved would be a bigger news story than chaos at Queens Park. But again, it's just conservative media, I guess. Ford drops hammers. Now you see, this is the image for the cover story, like objectively, right? Like Andrea Horvath gestures at PC MPPs as she is escorted out of the legislature by the sergeant at arms yesterday, while most of her MPPs pounded their desks in protest. I mean, that's a very compelling image. Really odd. Like, I feel like with conservative media, it's like conservatives live in a different universe. Like, I feel like Godzilla could be attacking the city, and the cover story would be liberals at it again. But what are you gonna do? Um, like it or not, Ford won this round. You got Mr. Fedora here. I I gotta hate people who wear fedoras. Um, Crickets. So this is what the outrage of our Ontario Premier vowing to use non-withstanding clause to pass the city council reduction law looks like. There are about 450 people out of the population of 13.6 million who really seem to care about this. Um, Seems like an off number. Like, just because 450 people showed up to protest doesn't mean only 450 people cared, but whatever. Plans for a revolution may be on hold. At more than 13,000 online participants, I had 20 times more people polled in the Toronto Sun's questionnaire, which the Sun had, which had Sun readers at 80% support for the premier and his government. I mean, it's a little bit of a silly stat. Like, of course, 80% of Toronto Sun readers support Doug Ford. I mean, I'd be interested to see the stats on how many Toronto Sun users actually support the use of the non-withstanding clause. But again, Joe, I don't know, Joe. Here we go. Doug Ford guest columnist. I feel like Doug Ford is the type of guy who does his drafts in crayon. Um, you don't need to spend much time at City Hall before realizing that Toronto's government is completely dysfunctional. The city is paralyzed by a bloated and ineffective council where debates can go on for days, but no decisions ever get made. It doesn't matter if you're talking about David Miller, Rob Ford, or John Tory, no matter who the city mayor is at the time, no matter who the mayor is, time and time again, we see that transit, infrastructure, and housing just cannot get built. It's going to be interesting to see if Doug Ford can actually deliver on what is promised. And, again, federal Tories back forward on the move. NDP is beautiful. Again, this is the news of the day. Like, this was the big news story. This is like the news. But again, just a small blurb on it. We got John Kretchen. I might do a vlog on like John Kretchen and the notwithstanding clause. It's the politics of it are actually kind of interesting. And let's see here. It's back to the regular conservative media. I mean, crime is on the rise. Crime is on the rise. Crime is on the rise. Crime is on the like killer nurse's tale boon to research. Bizarre headline, but it's the same thing. Crime is on the rise. Crime is on the rise, and still weeding out problems. There's one passage here I find really interesting. Ottawa Police Chief Charles Bourledoux wants nothing to do with his buzz detector, $6,000 piece of equipment known as the Drab Drug Test 5000, used in some 40 countries to measure THC levels in a driver's spit. He doesn't trust it. I mean, does it work or does he not trust it? Those are two different questions. And I guess I'll give East Court Forward a little bit of free advertising here. I was a little disappointed. I thought there'd be more coverage on what happened at Queens Park. Protesting, arrests, people getting kicked out of legislature. But conservative media, I guess, conservative media. So, thanks for watching, and I do hope you have a good day.